we're creating content with Megaverse and with Matt. He's actually helping us use our own IP.
8 minutes, they can get more people through. They can have that intimate experience in a smaller space.
So we are back for the last session of the day at the HTC Vive Theater at IAPPA, and I have some very special guests. Melody and Adam from Great Wolf Lodge. So Great Wolf is, I'm going to say this, correct me if I'm wrong, the largest indoor water park, or outdoor, probably the largest water park chain in the world.
Yeah, it's the largest family of water parks in North America.
Gotcha.
With hotels attached.
Okay, cool. Largest family of water parks in North America.
And growing.
And so, thanks for joining me. And so, tell everybody a little bit about if somebody hasn't seen a Great Wolf Lodge, what is it?
Great Wolf Lodge is really geared towards families with kids under the age of 12. So our sweet spot is 5 to 12 years old. And it's really for a great getaway for an entire weekend. So it's all under one roof. We have our indoor water parks. We also have some outdoor swim facilities as well. And then indoor, our attractions are spectacular. We go from adventure parks with ropes courses, Magi Quest, which is our own IP that we have, a game that you can play within the lodge, and then of course all the retail and F&B. So it really is a great getaway. We're within 3 hours of pretty much any major metropolis, so you can get to
3 hour drive.
Yeah, 3 hours drive, yes.
Yeah, so so we're going to talk about VR. So tell me what, if any, experience you guys have had with virtual reality so far at Great Wolf.
Well, I'll actually broaden a little bit if that's okay, because
awesome.
Yeah, I've been working in the industry for about 10 years and really looking for the right VR experience for just bringing indoors. And if you look at what's been out there for years, it's very large format, it's very elaborate. I'm thinking the Void, right? I'm thinking these really large formats where people are tethered somehow with a headset or a backpack, but it's just by nature really expensive. That's a lot of square footage. And so really trying to find something that's scalable. I've been looking for 10 years, and honestly, I haven't found anything in 10 years that I was willing to invest in until recently. And so that's where we found Megaverse, and they're doing a pretty extraordinary job of partnering with us and really making sure that what they've developed works for us. And for us, it's that demographic, 5 to 12 years old, right? We got to know our audience. They're not VR heads who are looking for, you know, a very specific thing. They're kids who want to have fun with their family. And so Matt Kelly and his team have really worked with us to create something that's a small footprint. And that's really what works, right? You want to be able to get in, have that throughput. We have low labor, right? You want to be able to centralize that labor. So that's what we're really, really excited about.
So talk about the footprint, because I know, you guys, I'm assuming in your entertainment centers, you're optimizing per square foot, revenue per square foot, traffic per square foot. So when you think about footprint, what's the right size?
So when kind of going back to when we were really looking at it as, well, what's next for attractions for Great Wolf, size was going to be an issue for us because we're out of space at a lot of our lodges, but we also have attractions that need to be replaced. And so as we were looking around and trying to figure out what could work for us, we came across this 20 by 30 space that could be all encompassing. It was great for us because it was free roam as well, and it's worked really, really well for us, and really a location in New England that is challenged from a traffic standpoint. And so it's a small footprint for us. The younger kids can play. We don't have to be attached to anything. It's been very, very nice and very, very good for us. So that 20 by 30 has been really nice. And then recently we've been talking about maybe we could go just a little smaller. And only because
I've never heard that before.
And the only reason we wanted to go smaller was not because we wanted less than 20 by 30. It's because we wanted more rooms in a smaller space. So we have worked with the Exploring Digital team to make a smaller space, about 12 by 18. So now in that 20 by 30, we can get 2 pods for the price of 1, right? So it's really, really nice. We can get more people through. And we're installing actually that set up at our Concord property in 2 weeks. So we're very excited about that.
Yeah, awesome. And so now you're talking about, do you get the same number of people in the smaller space? What's the...
Yeah, you get a little less people in the smaller space. But as we were looking at it with the guys from Exploring Digital and Megaverse, we're at 2 to 3 people are playing it anyway in that 20 by 30 space. So he said, why do we need such a big space? Let's make it smaller. We can get 4 to 5 people maximum in that. But if our average is 3 people, why need such a big space?
That's the dirty little secret that I think a lot of companies do, is they say, oh, you can handle, we can do 6 people at a time, but unless you're at super peak hours and you're hyper efficient, you're not going to optimize, even during the busiest times, the 100% of that capacity.
Yeah, well, what we found is we're very big at Grey Wolf about playing as a family. Come together, strengthen your pack, get together and have a good time. And so most of our families just want to play together, and they don't necessarily want to play with strangers. Some will, but they want to play together as a family. So finding that right amount of people, 2 to 3, 4 people, a game that is 7 to 8 minutes long. 8 minutes is really our sweet spot. 8 minutes, they can get more people through. They can have that intimate experience in a smaller space. The game didn't change really much at all. It's the same experience, really. So it's really worked out nicely.
And it's nice in VR because there is a bit of a time warp in VR, right? When you get in there, you put on the headset, you have no idea. It could feel like to some people 25 minutes and to some people 2 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your average? So obviously you know this. So you have is the average group size 4 people that come to visit, or
they come to visit our lodges?
Yeah.
Yes, around 4 people. Yeah.
And when you see on the VR side with Megaverse, what is there hesitancy on the parents playing or the kid? Are they all excited to play, or is one dragging the other in? What's that co-play like?
So this is even before Melody joined the company. I called the guys from Exploring Digital. They had shown me this, and I said, can we just set it up at one of our lodges in a conference room and just test it and just do some play testing? We've never really done that at Grey Wolf, and the guys are like, yeah, let's do it. So we set it up in the conference room, and we went out, and we just started getting people and just say, hey, will you come test something? We want to see how it is. And we got some of the best pictures I think we've ever gotten at Grey Wolf of families coming together, excited to play together and to accomplish a goal or have fun. Everybody likes to throw a dodgeball at dad, right? So obviously that was a lot. I brought my own kids over, and it was a lot of fun as a family. And that's the thing that really attracted us too, was yes, we can get people through. Yes, we can charge for it. Yes, we can have a lot of fun, but the families are wanting to do it together. And that really becomes a sweet spot for us at Grey Wolf.
Yeah. And so when you have something like this, that's kind of a high-tech attraction, right? And you're just starting, how long have you been, what would you characterize your experience? Are you testing? Still, is it still kind of like a test?
So we have tested it for about a year. We've
Yep.
proved it out for everything that we need from a financial standpoint, and
Yep.
so we're going to be rolling out we'll have it in 5 lodges in the next 14 months.
Yeah, awesome.
And I think about 11 pods total.
And so what challenges do you see in marketing this? So, people come to a water park to get wet and to slide and do these physical activities, and they're very, tactile and stuff. And so now you've got this virtual thing. What have you learned so far in your testing as far as getting people over the transom?
Sure. So what we did, and we did it very intentionally at our New England property where we were testing, is we did no marketing at all. We just put it in the adventure park to see how it would go. And most of our attractions are run off of a pass process, to where they buy the pass, it hangs from their neck, and it says they get a ropes course, they get this and that. We purposely didn't do that. We just wanted to see what do our guests think, and purely organically what it's going to do. And New England, it's kind of hard to explain, but it was a conversion property. That adventure park is an actual quarter mile from the lobby of the resort, which it's a long, long walk. And when we realized our guests are still finding it, we're not marketing it anywhere in the lodge. It's not on our website. It's nothing, and it's performing just as good as our mini golfs and our bowling that are on a pass. We said we've got something here.
And how did that happen? Was it because Because you go to a place like that. Is it word of mouth? Because I'm not sure how word of mouth would travel in a pocket resort, like where you're going for a weekend.
Well, if you've seen the metaverse, you'll see that you actually can see inside, right? It's pretty sexy in and of itself. You've got this great window. You see people having fun. You can see what the games are that you get to choose from. So it's just the nature of just passing by. It looks fun. It's a captive audience. People are there for at least a couple of days, so they're going to happen past it and see it. And when you see people having fun inside, that becomes pretty awesome.
And I think one of the biggest challenges that the VR industry hasn't nailed yet consistently is that, turning spectators into players. And, you got to get them to buy a ticket. And, you want to jump on that?
You know what I would say, too? When we were really looking at VR, like what's next, what my problem was, a lot of VR was really shoot 'em, gory, zombies, horror film stuff, and it was great stuff, like really cool stuff. Our demographic is that 5 to 12-year-old, and that what Exploring Digital had was a lot more stuff suited to the families, and we said that's really cool for us. So not only can I just put the headset on them and a 5-year-old can wear it, they can free roam, they're not stuck, and I'm going to worry about a 5-year-old running or something. But it's games that they can play, and there's scalable games too. So we have some challenging games with Megaverse, but we also have just some fun observational things that have surprises in it. And that helps too, getting the mom who doesn't necessarily want to do it, or the dad that's like, I don't know, I can't do heights, or we have game for everybody in this equipment. There was this early narrative around virtual reality for kids, right? Because the headset manufacturers, the legal department put a stamp on it, 13 and over, and I've been kind of fighting that a little bit because I don't think that applies to our industry, because it's 7 minutes in VR isn't going to do any harm to anyone based on content that's appropriate for the age. Do you get any resistance from parents about VR? Has that narrative filtered in anywhere?
I mean, I'll just start. I would say my kid at age 8 had a VR headset, because he got his Oculus. And to be honest, these kids are already doing it. So I don't think that there's really a challenge. You look at a lot of the games that are out there, and I think that's where, like, VR World in New York, you go through, you see it's for kids, right? They're all out there, playing those sort of toy box games, and they just put the headset on and they intuitively know what to do, right? So I think that we haven't seen that. And secondly, I'd like to just highlight that we're creating content with Megaverse and with Matt. He's actually helping us use our own IP to create really great immersive experiences. So when you go to Great Wolf Lodge and you meet our Great Wolf Pack, right? You might have a character appearance, but what if you get to have a snowball fight with them, right? There's something that's pretty awesome about taking that next level.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so you're not going to do the scary get eaten by wolves experience then?
No eating by wolves. No. Our Great Wolves are very fun and friendly.
So what do you want to see? Like, where do you want to see all this go? So abstract yourself from the present and look 5 years in the future, and what do you think about VR, and where would you like to? What would you like to see next?
So Melody mentioned us taking our IP and making it an immersive experience. We've spent a lot of money on our IP over the last 4 to 5 years. We have a new feature film with our characters. We've completely redone our characters, given them a whole background, characteristics, really cool stuff. Feature films are out there with our characters. Our Magic Quest has been completely revamped, a new game, really cool experience. And so we have a lot of really cool IP. We have the Great Wolves that I'm sure everybody's seen on their TV, right? Ad nauseum, I hear about it all the time. They've seen our commercials. So we have so much great IP. And what Exploring Digital is helping us do is actually bring that to life in a space that's no bigger than this booth, right? So I think that for us is really invaluable, that we can bring our experience to life and really put people in the experience and have them be part of Valara, which is our Magic Quest kingdom, right? So they can actually be there and feel it, and they can actually high-five Wiley and Violet and hang out with our Great Wolf Pack. That is a big deal for us, because that's going to take our content to the next level, and it's going to take our brand to the next level.
Yeah, and it's fascinating. And people, I think that there's a movement of throughout Hollywood, throughout all IP, of giving people more touch points, right? So you have a touch point, and how do you get more touch points? And being able to, create these meaningful, more emotional experiences. Like I see something on our cartoon, that's one thing, but actually having an interaction with a character kind of can cement that experience a lot more. So yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. What challenges do you see? HTC's watching, they're in the room, they're listening. What are some of the challenges that you think the VR industry needs to rise to see VR become more of a part of location-based entertainment centers, water parks, Great Wolf Lodge?
I will say content is important, right? So you need to be creating content for the right age groups, depending on if it's an adult facility, great. Like that horror gore is so much fun. It's terrifying. We all love a jump scare. But making sure that you're developing content for right ages and demographics. And I think that's probably my bigger concern. Broadly, I worry about labor. Anybody out there on the planet, we're all looking at labor. Like, how do we make sure that we're optimizing and setting up the facility in a way that you're able to get the biggest bang for your buck with your staff. So those are two things that I look for.
Yeah, and hence doubling up the space so you can have two rooms running concurrently with one operator, hopefully running both of those. Gets you a lot more optimization of labor. Yeah, that's really good. I actually, I'm going to continue to challenge the industry to say that I actually believe it's possible to do unattended free roam VR. And I'm not saying it's easy, but I think that, I don't think anybody thought you could do unattended VR at all 5 years ago. And then one company does it, and then people start copying it. And, the 4-minute mile, nobody could break the 4-minute mile, and then somebody broke it. Next thing you know, there's, in the next year, 15 people did it, and now there's a list of 1,000 people.
Yeah, I would also say someone that we work with who runs our Magic Quest experience, his name's Jordan Ickowitz, and he just said just a little bit ago, he said, we've got to design for the fun of the guests, not for the fun of the designer. And I find as the operator, sometimes we get designers that make some really cool stuff, but it's very difficult to understand for the kids or even the operators. So if I'm presenting this to the operator of our location and they don't get it, we're in trouble already. And so really thinking about that as we're designing these games is design it for the end user, don't design it for yourself. And that will be really helpful as well.
And the best way to do that is to go in a location and sit there and operate it for a Saturday afternoon and a Saturday night and have angry birthday party moms screaming at you when the party's 15 minutes late, right? I still have PTSD from my laser tag days. Yeah, so awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thank you for the team at Exploring Digital for bringing, some of the most sought after influencers in our industry to the booth and to talk about VR. And I can't wait to see how successful you guys are with this as it rolls out. So thank you.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.